ferocious-looking lion pounced upon the...
Yes.
Oh, hello again, everybody, and welcome back to my home. I'm Archibald the Explorer, and this is,
Me, Jude.
Yes. You join us for our little festive series here, looking at the story of Christmas. Though, Jude, I was slightly surprised that you started it at the beginning of the Bible, in Genesis. It's not where you normally start the Christmas story, is it?
No. But as we discovered, Joseph...
Oh, that was Jesus' adopted dad, wasn't he?
That's right. Joseph was told by an angel that Jesus would save the people from their sin. So we needed to go right back to the start of the story to find out why we needed rescuing in the first place.
Oh, yes. Oh, and there was a tree, wasn't there? Not this tree, no. Who would think that? No, but a tree that God said to Adam and Eve not to eat from, for it was dangerous. But then they ate from it anyway.
Yes, they did. They didn't trust God, that He loved them and wanted the best for them. So they ignored Him and went their own way.
Oh, but that's what sin is, isn't it? How did you teach it to us? Shove off God, I'm in charge, and no to your ways.
Yes, and that brought a curse. It meant that our earthly bodies will die one day, but worse still, we can't live forever with God as His friends.
Oh, dear.
Indeed. But God promised a rescuer to save us from that curse.
Yes, but that was Jesus, wasn't it? Yes.
Yes.
But I have a question. How does Jesus rescue us from the curse? It is getting rather tiresome.
Well, we're going to discover how Jesus saves us today, but first of all, over to Michael and his carol.
And she is? Once in Royal David City. Oh, hello again, kids. Michael here. Have you ever sung Once in Royal David City? Maybe you got to do the solo at the start. I did when I was a boy. But what do the words mean? He came down to earth from heaven, who is God and Lord of all. Wonder where you come from. Well, this song tells us that Jesus came from heaven, and that's because He is God and Lord of all. Look around you. What can you see? Jesus is the God who made all of it. And His shelter was a stable, and His cradle was a stall. I wonder where you were born. It was most likely in a hospital, with nice clean sheets and a bed. But not Jesus. He was born in a smelly stable. But hang on, didn't we just say that He's Lord of all? Why was the King of the universe born in an animal shed? With the poor and meek and lowly lived on earth our Saviour holy. It's because He's a different kind of king. Where He was born shows us what He had come to do. If He had come to make everyone serve Him and live in luxury, He'd have been born in a palace. But He came to save people, to serve people, to care for the poor and meek and lowly, the humble. And so He was born where the poor live. He really is a different kind of king. Back to you, Jude and Archibald. Jude! Jude!
Yeah.
Jude, I've got something for you.
Oh, how exciting!
Yes, well, since it's Christmas and all of that, I thought I'd get you a little present.
Oh, goody.
Come here.
What is it?
There we go.
What is it?
Oh. Have a look, won't you? Jude, what are you doing? Jude?
Hang on. Oh, my head's stuck.
Jude, what are you doing?
Let me try again. It's a book about King Alfred.
Yes, some would say the greatest king of England. I thought with all this talk about Jesus being the king and coming to save us and all of that you'd want to have a read. I mean, I'm sure there are many similarities.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, Jesus came to rescue us from danger, correct?
Yes.
Well, so did Alfred.
Right.
Yes. Well, he rescued the people from the Viking hordes, and there's more.
Go on.
Well, Alfred was brave. I'm sure Jesus was brave.
Yes.
Well, Alfred fought a mighty battle against the Vikings, leading from the front, sword in hand, swish, swish, swash. Very heroic, wouldn't you say?
Certainly sounds it. But I don't get what the last bit has to do with Jesus.
Well, if Jesus rescued us from a great enemy, surely he rode into battle like Alfred, sword and shield in hand.
No, not exactly.
No sword?
No sword.
A bow, maybe.
No bow.
An axe, maybe?
Oh! No weapons!
Well, how did he rescue us then?
Well, by dying.
Pull the other one. I mean, how could he rescue us by dying?
I think it's time you had a chat with someone very special. Her name is Mary, and she was Jesus' mother.
Oh, yes, she does sound special, doesn't she? Right, total pep.
I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Sorry, Mary. I can call you Mary, can't I?
That is my name.
Yes, of course, but often people put lots of things in front of your name and after your name. I mean, you're someone special, aren't you?
Not really. I'm human just like everyone else. God just gave me the most wonderful job to do, to look after his son while he grew up.
Oh, right, yes. Well, did you know from the beginning that he was going to be somebody important? I mean, were there any clues, perhaps?
Well, there was an angel sent by God to tell us that he would be important.
Oh, yes, I suppose that is a bit of a giveaway, or?
God wanted us to be clear about this, so he sent an angel to my husband too.
Oh, Joseph, yes, I had a chat with him. The angel told him that Jesus would save the people from their sins.
That's right. Gabriel told...
That was the angel's name?
Yes. Angel Gabriel told me that Jesus will be the Son of God, and he will be the special king that would reign forever.
Oh, well, suppose it was joy all round then. The king is born, long live the king and all that, yes?
Yes and no. There were hints that things weren't going to go exactly as we thought.
Oh, in what way?
It was something an old man called Simeon told me. He had been waiting so long to see the promised king. By this time, he was an old man, and he told me Jesus was going to do some incredible things, and a sword will pierce your own soul.
Oh, you were going into battle?
No, that was picture language. He was saying that we were going to go through something very difficult, and when Jesus grew up, that became true.
Was that when Jesus rescued everyone?
Yes, but not in the way that we expected, not by defeating our enemies in battle. He did it by dying.
Oh, yes. I can imagine that must have been hard to see.
It was, but I knew this was his mission. He had to die so that we could live.
I'm not sure I understand.
We didn't at first either, but when he came back to life 3 days later, he explained everything to us.
Oh. Wait a second. Jesus rose again?
Yes, he did. And what a wonderful day that was.
Oh, I can imagine. Well, thank you so much, Mary, for your help. But I better be off to find out more about this story. Toodle pip there.
Bye.
Right. It's not off, is it? Sorry. Jude, I have another question. So, we've heard about how Jesus died to rescue us. Yes, that was the mission of the king.
Right.
But I still don't understand how him dying actually rescues us.
Well, for that we need to learn about another tree. Because we sin and say no to God, there's a curse.
Yes, the curse. Will you stop it? Oh, sorry. I was just trying to add to the tension. Well, you're certainly being successful there. As I was saying, the curse that everything has been broken and that we can't be friends with God, correct?
Yes. Well, there's another tree in the middle of the Bible story. It's known as the cross.
Oh, the cross. The cross where Jesus died.
That's right! Sometimes it's called a tree because it's made of wood, and that's where Jesus hung to die. In Galatians chapter 3, verse 13, it says that cursed is anyone who is hung on a tree.
So Jesus was cursed.
Archibald, would you please get that table over there with that present and lump of coal on it?
No problem.
Well, Jesus, he had life, yes? But he gave that up and instead took the curse, death. We deserve that curse for saying no to God, but Jesus took the curse of death instead of us, so he could give us that gift of life forever with him as his friends.
Oh, so that's why Jesus had to die. He had to take the curse of death so he could give us the gift of life. It's like a big swap. Ha ha!
Exactly.
Well, that makes Christmas so much more incredible, doesn't it? That God would not only come and live with humans who had done so much wrong to him, but that he'd actually die in their place. He really is a different kind of king.
Yes, and I think Michael has a song all about it.
God promised long ago to make all of the sadness come untrue. God said he'd send someone to pay the price of sin for me and you. God said a servant king would bring peace to a broken human race. God said he'd be the one, through him he'd lovingly pour out his grace. He's here. The king has arrived. Go tell everyone the news. He's arrived. The promises of God will be fulfilled. He's arrived. He'll win the victory and save the world. He's arrived. The king of the universe is here. Zechariah
a song of praise you, Lord. You've kept your promises, and you have sent the one to save us from our foes and enemies. And you've been chosen, John, to get God's people ready for their King. And you will show them how they can be saved through forgiveness of their sins. He's here. He's here. 1, 2, 3. The King has arrived. Go tell everyone the news. He's arrived. The promises of God will be fulfilled. He's arrived. He'll win the victory and save the world. He's arrived. The King of the universe is here. Young Mary sang a song, though I am small and bow before my Lord. You've given me the role to carry your Son, the King of the world. So I will praise the one who keeps his promises to Israel. For you've been merciful, just as you said you would be long ago. He's here. He's here. 1, 2, 3. The King has arrived. Go tell everyone the news. He's arrived. The promises of God will be fulfilled. He's arrived. He'll win the victory and save the world. He's arrived. The King of the universe. The King of the universe. The King of the universe is here. Well, Jude, this has been fascinating. Although I do have one more question, if I may. So, what happens if we sin again? Will we be back to square one under the curse?
Well, there's one more tree we need to talk about. But that's for next time. But for now, goodbye, everybody.
Toodle pip. Grrr! How was that?